let me tell you how I was shooketh. Okay? What? I know you lying. Your girl Talisa Rae. What's up? How you doing? Ray of Sunshines. We are reviewing Ready to Love Season 2 Reunion Part 1. Listen, I need 1 and 2 back to back. That's how bad that's how much I was jonesing. That's how much I was like, but wait a minute, but wait, come back, but wait, hold on, like, wait a minute. Like, that's how I was feeling. I had to watch it twice before I could come and review it. I mean, watch it from beginning to end, dos times, okay? I don't know how you say times in Spanish. Anyway, I couldn't breathe, okay? But let's just talk about the whole reunion part 1 so far. It's 3 months since they last filmed, okay? So that puts things into context for you, kind of makes you realize, okay, so it's been 3 months since the last episode, and then came the reunion, so they've had time to really get to know one another, hang out, spend some time together, you know, canoodle a little bit. I mean, in 3 months time after that, if they had all the chemistry that they said they had, they were probably doing grown-up things, okay? I'm just gonna be honest, grown-up things was happening. When they open up, you see the 4 couples, the 4 final couples on the couch together. And Tommy goes straight into Darren and Ashima, and evidently they are still going strong. Some key things that they talked about was that they have open communication, specifically about the dogs, okay? And that they had an in detail conversation about the dogs, and specifically about how he was introducing the dogs to her, or how the exposure, there we go, that was the word used, the exposure of the dogs. And so, listen, afterwards, you guys got all, you know, because remember, that was episode y'all was coming for me on, like, that wasn't right. That was that, y'all remember that episode when Jack and Jill, when she went and visited and Jack and Jill was sitting up in there. But he also commended her on how well she had been doing with the dogs, and that it was known if we go further, the dogs come too. So they have come to some understanding with the dogs. And the reasons that they like each other, or what they had been saying her was, you know, gives balance and acceptance. They're exact opposite. You know, she's drinking and, you know, doesn't really live a healthy lifestyle, where he is balanced and is mindful of things he eats and, you know, what he puts into his body. And for him, one of the biggest things about Ashima that he liked was that she was able to effectively communicate. I mean, they still look cute, super cute together. They seem to be still bonding close to one another. You know, their body language speaks we are in a relationship, okay? And as a matter of fact, when we think about the body language of the couple, Ashima and Darren look like they are connected. They're holding hands, they're closely tight. You can see that they still have chemistry and connection. Right next to them is Divine in London, and baby, if that don't look like the coldest winter ever, okay? Like, she don't even look like she giving him any kind of nothing. Like, honestly, I feel like she should be sitting there with her hands crossed, okay? Like Reba in the background, who had been face turned up the entire time. Like I told you, I had to go back and take a look, like, wait a minute, like, oh, hold on, like, all that energy. But I'm getting beside myself, okay? And then on the other side of the couch, you have Brent and Alexis, who don't seem like they have any chemistry, but they look like people who, okay, like, we dating, like, we went on a couple dates and we're filling each other out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have no, like, oh, we've been rocking at this particular time. I mean, when we look at the snippets of next episode, we see that it does look like that, you know, because she's touching him constantly. But they look like just two people on the couch that just met, were introduced by friends, and, you know, we've been out a couple times, and I'm still trying to fill him out. And then next to them are Tandie and Mario. And Tandie, they looked comfortable to me because Tandie is right up under Mario, like right close, almost on top of him, that much up under them. So at initial glance, because I noticed them before anybody else, like, oh, okay, good, because remember, we've seen them go to Puerto Rico and all that on the last episode. We saw that, right? No, we didn't see it, but we saw it on their Instagram, on Tandie's Instagram. Now let's get back to what was going on. Let's get out of my head and what I was thinking, because I could be right, I could be wrong, but body language never tells a lie. And then they have Nina sitting on the couch talking to Tommy. I wrote, my initial response was I wish that she had made it, and then also that I forgot that Brent had actually liked her and was into her. And what made me think about that is when they showed her snippets, okay? Not when she was vulnerable and was crying, but when she walked into the pool party and he was like, Nina, baby, you can't, Nina, baby, or Nina, girl, you Nina somebody. You can't just walk in without saying hi, because he was probably looking forward to sitting and chatting with her. That's a thing. She tells some story about, you know, she wasn't really into it because looking around, she found that she saw that the man that was for her wasn't there. Now, Nina, I had given you like one of the realest, like you were one of the realest singles on here, and this right here says that you weren't. You just weren't really open to having to share. I like how I like how Aisha came on in her defense, or to help her explain herself a little more, and said that she had some things that she needed to work on, and honestly all that equated to was that she was not ready to love, that she was not ready in this particular moment. But honey, come to find out, her and Tyrell had been having conversations. Like, we all know that there were a lot of things that we did not get to see, and one of those was the behind the scenes between Tyrell and Nina. So when Tyrell was invited to talk, or he was sitting there talking, I don't know, however it went, no, he wasn't, he was still in the back. He was like, and what they didn't show is that you and I had one of the realest conversations and realest connections, and they didn't show that. And they showed that they did have open dialogue, and he was true to form and gave her a gift. You know, that was one of the things that was the complaint about Tyrell, was that he was doing the same thing with everybody. But he was very affectionate and very attentive to her in that little snippet that we saw in our never before seen footage. Tommy asks if, you know, there would be some interest, because they have been having conversations and keeping up with one another. And, you know, I really need Nina to stop doubting her fly, because right now she is definitely doubting herself because of her past, you know, with men, and the past failures that have happened with men. And that's something that as women we do. We take hold and take stock of it unless we learn to process it, really process it, understand that, okay, whatever I've done or whatever part I played, own it, learn from it, and move forward. We end up looking like Nina. And y'all know how much I like Nina. But anyway, they end up, you know, she was like she would be interested in dating him if he was interested in her. Well, y'all been conversing, communicating via phone. Why wouldn't he be? And Tommy asked a question, and they're interested in one another. You know, they hug or whatever. And I don't know if there's anything that's going to come about that. Does anybody follow them? Because, you know, next season I might want to update, like, who's still talking? What connections were made that weren't originally made? One would be Nina and Terrell. Then we get to Jimmy and Kimber. Okay, let's just say that Jimmy, you know, in this particular moment is really trying to just save face, trying to be Mr. Cool. You know what I'm saying? He's the dude that doesn't necessarily want to open up, but wants to be in a relationship. You know, I don't want to really look foolish. You're not going to have me out here looking stupid, so I'm going to keep saving face and not owning up to the shit that I've done. First thing out of his mouth is that now we really didn't have, you know, when I look back on it, we didn't have a genuine connection. And I'm with Kimber, like, what in the hell? Now all of a sudden all these men hollering we didn't have no genuine connection and we didn't really rock. And that, you know, he just really wanted to see what she looked like, big mad, and it was a mess, okay? And that they really wasn't full. But, you know, like Tommy said, they were one of the cutest couples. And, I mean, we all thought that they would have made it, but then we found out that they were both really immature. Like, they both had some shit to work on. And the hope was that they left and came back and that those are things that they worked on. So they leave and we take a break. And in the process, we go behind the scenes. And Tandie says to Mario, "Do you like my dress?" And he says, "Yes, I really like it. You look really good." And he was like, "My loss." And she said, "Well, it doesn't have to be." And at that point, I was like, "Oh fuck, they not together no more? When they just in Puerto Rico? Wait, didn't we just see pictures of them in Puerto Rico?" Now y'all tell me the timeline, because remember last Saturday I talked about us seeing the photos of Tandie and Mario in Puerto Rico, and on Instagram. Y'all saw them, I saw them, and then now, of course, I went back to look. Those photos, of course, are down. They're gone. But so what? They just filmed this last week. I know. So someone explained to me how this works. So the whole season airs, everybody watches the season, and then you're booked the week that it's the final episode, or episode 10 is aired, to do the reunion. Is that how that works? Somebody help me understand that. Explain that to me. Hope you understood what I was asking, because I was having a hard time getting it out my mouth. Anyway, when they come back, Tommy's all, "Well, did that ship sail?" You know, asking Kimber. And she was like, "Yeah, the ship has sailed, you know." He said, "Could the ship come back?" And she said, "Well, you know, you never know what happens." Whereas Jimmy wasn't being honest, and he was just like, "That ship has sailed. Like, she's a great woman. I wish her the best. That ship has sailed." And really, you could just see that he was really salty in this particular moment. Like, and I'm really having a hard time keeping my... I'm trying to go in the order of how shit happened, and I really just want to say screw it. So let's just say screw it, okay? A little later on, Jimmy is sitting next to Kimber, and he's just in his feelings, and Kimber's like, "What's going on?" You know, and he's just like, "You know, I used to have somebody. I miss having a lady in my corner that could calm me down." Because evidently he understands that he was a bit of a hothead in watching those scenes. Not only that, in his response just now to her, that he wasn't, you know, his best self. And she said, "Well, are you lonely?" You know, and then they cut off, and then we go to see, you know, he's talking about the Ashima Chika thing. But a little bit later, I was so proud of the apology that Jimmy gave Kimber. And Jimmy gave her the apology on the heels of the black men don't cheat conversation. And so I'm going to hold on. We're going to put a pin in that. Like, we go to the Ashima Chika situation, and it was really sparked by the Tandie and Nina argument on the bar trolley. You know, that whole shit show on the trolley where Nina showed her gangster and Tandie was really not backing down, but, you know, taunted her a little bit with the barking, and hit dog gonna bark or hit dog gonna yell, or whatever, you know, whatever the old adage is. And Chika was trying to mend their relationship, and Ashima, you know, kind of interjected. Now, if you paid attention as they were talking and discussing it, you saw the men all nodding their heads in agreement about the things that he was saying that, you know, Chika felt disrespected because Ashima kept interjecting. You know what I'm saying? Kept inserting herself, you know, when he was asking her not to. And you saw the men kind of be like in agreement with the stuff, like it was a man that brought the two women together. It was this, it was that. And you saw the men, you know, nodding their heads, and a couple of the women too. One thing that was important out of this entire conversation was the fact that Chika did apologize for his actions, for his behavior. Like, though he felt disrespected, he could have handled himself better than he did. So that's what I was talking about. Some people, sometimes you have to see how much of a fool you acted, how much of a fool you sounded like or appeared to be to everybody else. We don't know what was going on. We don't know why your button was pushed, but you see how ugly and silly you looked coming for a woman like that. And so I commend him for apologizing. I mean, I can't see any man thinking that that behavior was okay, because y'all show condemned him quickly. I mean, like, yeah, no, he red flags. But the good part is that he saw the error of his ways. He did apologize for it, tried to explain his situation from it, tried to point out the reasons behind it, but understood that it was the wrong route. So right behind the scenes, when we see Kimber and Jimmy talking, you see Mario telling Tandie to get away from him. Like, really aggressively, like really disrespectfully, like she was really, like, as if she was bothering him, which felt weird to me. And we didn't know what the hell was going on. I wrote that down, like, why the hell is he telling her like that? Why is he being like, get away from me, like she's the devil's spawn, like she didn't hex him or something, like, oh, like, you know, she done found out some real stuff about him. Somebody explain. That's how I was feeling while I was watching, and of course it was later revealed. But Tandie went on to tell Alexis, you know what, I feel like something is off, you know. Why is he saying get away from me as if I've done something to him, and I haven't done anything to him? It just something feels weird. And women, we just definitely need to understand that God has given us the power of discernment, honey. When that intuition kicks in, when you start feeling some type of way, sometimes we be a little to the left and a little far-fetched, but when you start feeling some kind of way, you better hold on to it. You better understand that it is important, that maybe you need to take a closer look at what's going on, okay? So this is where the black men don't cheat conversation began. And here's my thoughts on that whole movement. I don't think that they're saying that black men don't cheat, like they've never cheated. I think that they're trying to promote black men not to cheat, like making it a thing. I believe that the movement is so that men can show that they are monogamous and can value a relationship, that it's not about, you know, who could get the most women, or I'm cheating on my wife and it's cool. Like, that used to be a thing in a water cooler conversation, where now the conversation is shifting, that it is important that black men don't cheat, that they honor the commitments that they've made to these women, okay? On the flip side, they talk about how the reason black men don't cheat is because black men don't commit. Ha! Now y'all tell me how you feel about that down below in the comments. Listen. I can get with black men not committing, and as such they don't cheat. But the thing is, they're not telling us that they're not committing. They're making women in general, but I'm speaking of course from the black woman's point of view, that you are committed to us, and not being honest, because you'd be surprised how many of us can understand more that you're dating and seeing other people versus lying to us and stringing us along. But hey, what do I know? I just know I don't put up with the shit, okay? You live your life. Hey, it's just not me in it, okay? Tommy asks if the men have ever cheated, and I want to say that those men didn't move at all. They act like they never cheated in their life. Now, I can't say if they have or if they haven't, but you slowly saw Jimmy raise his hand. You then saw slowly that Chika raised his hand, you know, high school, college, but that don't count. And then you saw Mario put his hand up as well to say that, to be honest, that they have cheated. I mean, I'm with Tommy that as we spark more conversations and people start talking more about it, you get a better understanding of things, because men and women are different entirely. But this is the thing that moved Jimmy to apologizing to Kimber, okay? Like, I was really glad to see him apologize for breaking her trust and exposing what she said in confidence to around everybody else. You know, I was glad to see that he owned that. He apologized for the right thing and understood why she was so upset. And it moved me. Like, it was a genuine apology. I was like, come on, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy, with the growth. He remembered what he looked like on the show, like a stone cold fool. And he really did understood. He really did understand that he was still game playing, that he was still just trying to be, you know, seen per se. I feel like Kimber should have apologized to him, because her reaction could have changed the outcome. Not that it was her responsibility, not that he shouldn't take responsibility, but that she should be held accountable for the part that she played in it, if that makes sense to you guys. And from there, you see that that there's now a level of openness for them to go out on a date. He actually asked her out on a real date, and she says tomorrow, because really they like each other. They really vibe. They really had chemistry. I thought that they would have made it to the end, and I'm really happy for them, but I really hope that they continue in a positive light and continue to build some type of foundation between the two of them. Like, after seeing how they looked on TV, like, that'll change you. Like, damn, I looked foolish. Honey, baby. So let's talk about Mario and Tandie and Reva. So when Tommy asked, about their connection and their chemistry, Mario mentions how he didn't even notice her the first day. He walked past her 3 different times, but the next day he got to talk to her, and then, they both agreed that they had a genuine, natural, kind of effortless connection. Okay. So after they start talking about, the connection that they had that was genuine and effortless, and how they enjoyed each other's company, or whatever the shit was they said, Mario hit us with, Tandie is an amazing woman. And whenever someone says so-and-so is an amazing woman, you know that there is a but coming behind it, or that something is awry, okay? Because his next breath was, unfortunately, she is not for me. We are not compatible. Now, I told y'all I didn't think that they were compatible last episode. I told y'all that I wasn't sure about if they would make it. Something about them didn't say that they would make it. I told y'all that. And she goes on to say, yeah, we've been broken up for about 2 weeks. And he went on to say, yeah, Tandie tried to fight for it, but he didn't want to continue fooling himself, and that if there were some things that he had to overlook, or she had to overlook, that they were too old for that. And Tandie makes sense. Like, okay, so when you say you're going to get into a relationship with somebody, there's some communication, there's some adjusting that's going to need to occur. Now listen, we already know, y'all could go ahead and say it, we already know that this thing moved really fast. Okay, they had only, it was a 10-week process, and then it was 3 months after that, so it was really fast. Everything that they did sped up exponentially more than a regular relationship would. So where we had time to really get to see how compatible we are and what we can deal with and what we can't, in the real world, that shit was sped up. But I mean, I could tell that they didn't seem like they didn't mesh well together for me. I don't know if you saw it. I can't remember. Most of y'all was like, I like Mario and Tandie together. And I was just like, I want everybody to find love. Really, that's how I feel. But something in my spirit was just like, they don't match well. Something doesn't feel right. Anyway, and he was just like, I couldn't keep fooling myself, and then she tried to fight for it. And listen, at this particular time, she's able to stay composed, which means we've had a conversation. There's nothing I can do about our relationship, so I need to deal with it. But true to form, as a woman, she came on there with that green dress, honey, on, banging, like, looking like, maybe this will help change his mind. Maybe this will jog his memory. Maybe, maybe like until then Tommy turns our attention directly to Reva and Tandie and says, so what about this whole associate friends thing situation? And then it just ensues that whole like argument about being friends versus associates, and we ain't never been friends, and why would you ask me out, out of the country, and why would you want our daughters to link up, and why are you reaching out to me? Well, you would do that for an associate, specifically in the instance of the daughters, right? Mentorship program, I get it, okay? But as it relates to going out of the country, and she's like, oh, well, we have that mutual friend. Well, my mutual friend should be fucking calling me and saying, hey, I'm going out of the country with my homegirl Reva, right? Not Reva connecting and contacting me. At least that's how I see it. I got a homegirl that I am an associate with her friend, okay? We only hang out when my friend is around. There's no reason that girl would ever call me, okay? If she does, it's always in as it relates to my good girlfriend. Like if there's a party, or if we're, it's her birthday, you want to do something special, whatever. She talked to her and she feeling distraught, whatever that is. That's the only reason. Everything would be surrounding my good girlfriend. She wouldn't call me and ask me to go out on a trip. Wouldn't ask me to go to the trip on the trip. You know, even if it was a whole like, oh, a travel team or whatever, a travel group going, my good girlfriend would call me and ask. So I can see where Tandie is confused. Like, I thought that we were friends. These are things that you would do with a friend. But hey, I'm glad that Tandie decided it ain't worth it, and that, listen, we associates. We being associates. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm biased against Reva, okay? Like, the entire episode, her face had been frowned up, her hands had been crossed, she had been looking crazy up and down at Tandie, and in this particular moment, I am not feeling Reva at all. I honestly want to tell you that I don't think I've ever been a Reva fan. I think I lost all respect for Reva when she did that shit with Carrie, okay? Whole time because she was probably checking for Mario. Let's just keep going. In this particular moment, Tandie's just let it be known. So our friendship became associates when some peen became involved, okay? It's a thing. We talked about this. We said that this could possibly be true. The dynamic could change. They did seem cordial enough. They did seem before the situation with Mario. I'm just saying. Now their friendship is downplayed. So then Tommy asks Reva, well, why would you self-eliminate yourself? And she was like, well, you know what? I needed to check out. I realized that it wasn't going the way that I thought it would be. He was more interested in her. So I needed to eliminate myself. You know, I mean, like I asked you before, when is enough enough? She should have been self-eliminated is the way I felt. But that's not the way she felt. She hung in there because she knew something we did not know. She knew probably about secret conversations about her and Mario. And that's why she had told Tandie after the wine bar, texted him, watch out for Mario. Because the whole time Mario was probably, you know, saying those sweet nothings to Reva. Watch out for Mario is what you would tell a friend when you know that something is going wrong. Watch out for Mario is because you know that something ain't right. Something just ain't right. I can't get through one video without singing something, huh? Anyway, and she said, you know what, it was never a competition for me because if it was a competition, I would have won. Child, it was a competition. And you was just trying to bow out gracefully because it was a competition. When Tommy asked Mario how he felt, and that nigga said he felt defeated, I said, defeated? Defeated is something you feel when you really feeling somebody and they not fooling with you. You feel defeated. You feel like there's no way out. You feel, you know, like broken. That's what defeated is. Like, I was like, defeated. So he then said, you know, I'm really sorry that things didn't work out between you and I, Tandie. But after we broke up, no, that's wrong. I'm sorry things didn't work out between you and I, Tandie. But I still found love. Everybody said, huh? Nina was like, this sounds suspicious. We all looking. Tommy's all like, you did. He said, after we broke up, I had to follow my heart and go after the one I really wanted. Are you fucking kidding me? So the whole time you was just acting, you was just playing with my emotions, you dirty dog. You dirty dog. Like, I know that that's what Tandie was saying. I know that that's what she was thinking. I'm sure that every woman in there was like, what kind of shit is this? I was shook. I was not expecting that. Not right after. Not after the heels of coming off of an episode. Not after seeing them in their Puerto Rico flicks. I mean, he seemed irritated with the one with the, you know, filter or whatever. But truth be told, most men don't like filters. But then now you think back on it, because I went back to look, and of course those photos are gone. So my whole thing is, you was playing with my heart the entire time. You could have left me where I was. You could have been honest about the whole situation, but I guess you felt trapped because you have been rocking with Tandie for the longest. Like, where they do that at? And then, so when I look back, because I told you I had to watch the thing twice, when I look back at it, I was like, oh, no wonder Reva was sitting there with her face frowned up the entire time and her arms folded in disgust and disdain. Like, oh, you mad because you big mad. And no wonder Mario didn't want you, Tandie, touching her, because the whole time his boo, Reva, is watching. Don't let that bitch touch you. I don't want to see you talking. Ain't no telling how them conversations went. It is important that we do follow our intuition, our discernment. God is always downloading information about stuff, and we need to be wise about it. I really feel like this was dirty, okay, on both of their parts, Reva and Mario. And let me tell you why. For the simple fact, as it relates to Mario, because Mario should have prepared Tandie. They had been broken up for 2 weeks, which honestly means that Reva and Mario had been having conversations prior to the 2 weeks. That whole conversation about the hard eyes, looks like Tandie was right. Because honestly, Reva was probably constantly sending messages. She was constantly saying something in order for you to know that it was okay to come back. It was Mario's responsibility to soften the blow for Tandie. He was supposed to let her know. The way he went about this was super fucking wrong. Like, right? I mean, you love who you love. I don't fault him for that. Let me just tell you that. I don't fault him for deciding that he preferred Reva over Tandie. I fought him over the way that he did it, the way he decided to go about telling her. He should have prepared her. Just like he broke up with her and she tried to fight and he was like he was fooling himself, he needed to go ahead and say why he was fooling himself. He was fooling himself because he was still conversing with Reva and she had his full attention, y'all. Let's just call a spade a spade. And Reva over there, the best woman won. Honey, I'm with the Lexus. Like it stank. Like, what kind of shit shenanigans is this that y'all didn't pull? Like, and Reva, as a woman first, how would you feel on the other side? You might feel like you needed to vindicate yourself. You needed to feel like, oh, she was talking all that shit. But honestly, you look real childish and immature to me. Like you should have considered someone else. Like you want someone else to consider your feelings. But you had a point to prove. Now, y'all can disagree with me down below in the comments. But because we're going to need to continue this conversation. Because I saw so much that I know that I missed things that I wanted to talk about. I was just really irritated by this. And then Mario went on there and put a public apology. I mean, you know, public humiliation requires a public apology on his Instagram to Tandie. You know, and no, one thing does not define any person as a man. No, it does not. One action, because we all definitely have made mistakes, could have done things differently. One thing does not define us as people. However, it does show you that you don't think clearly, that you didn't think this thing all the way through, that you were, you know, so high in Reva's ass that you just went along with whatever she told y'all in the middle of y'all fuck session or after because it was so good. Listen, because that's how it went. Because that's some messy shit. And that's not a thing that men do. Men don't do messy shit like that. That's shit that women craft up. Yeah, you know, put it down on him real good and be like, we're going to just tell everybody on the reunion show. We're going to shock everybody on the reunion show. Listen, Reva deserves a spot on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. That's where she wants to be. I know she don't sing, but y'all figure out how to get her in there because she messy as fuck. Y'all figure out how to get her on one of these reality TV shows because she is messy and that's what she wants to be. She wants to be in that. So somebody help her get there. Listen, Tandie, I'm sorry that things worked out this way for you. I'm sorry that you had to, you know, fucking be humiliated on TV and really you ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. Like you said, they some trashy motherfuckers. Cause the way they went about it was wrong, okay? You know, there's stuff that I be forgetting, and then we go in the comments, and then we have a conversation, and then I'm all like, damn it, I forgot to talk about that, and y'all don't really get to hear my point of view. But let's continue this conversation down below in the comments. Tell me what you think. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Thank you so much for watching my review of Ready to Love season number 2, the reunion special part 1. Listen, if it's your first time visiting my channel, click the subscribe button, become a ray of sunshine, click the notification bell so you're alerted of the videos I upload. Lastly, because you like me and I know it's real, give this video a thumbs up. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next video. Woo child, I can't wait till next week.